Okay, so Leetcode practice time. Two goals in this video. First one is to find the solution for the specific question, and the other thing is to see how to solve this problem properly by going proper steps in the interview. So let's get started. Remember the first one, always the first step for a coding interview is to understand what the problem is asking you to do. If it is unclear to you, please ask clarification questions. Um, and at the same time, think about some edge cases that can potentially break your algorithm. So let's take a look at the question. Find first and last position of element in sorted array. So given an array of integers nums sorted in ascending order, find the starting and ending position of a given target value. So if target is not found in the array, return -1 -1. So the question asks us to do it in login runtime. And also taking a look at the first example, it returns 3 and 4 because the first index of 8 is 3 and the last index of 8 within nums array is 4. And constraints, so the array could be empty. So I would say the empty array, it could be an edge case. And otherwise, I think things are pretty normal. So the second step is to find a solution. After we understand what the problem is asking us to do, we need to find a solution. So it's pretty obvious that we are searching a number within sorted array. So we need to use binary search in this case. And the runtime, of course, is gonna be log n, and is the number of the number, and is the number, how many numbers are there in the input array. So let's give it a shot. So after you communicate with your interviewer, discuss the solution and the runtime complexity analysis. So it's time for you to do some solid code. So in the coding part, you need to care about the correctness, the readability, and of course the speed of your coding. So let's see. Index is equal to, let's define it as -1 and -1. And if the input array is the empty one, we don't need to do anything, just return the -1 -1 index. And now it is time for us to do some binary search. So let's define a function called leftmost index binary search. So we are going to say, okay, int nums and int target. So first of all, remember we define the left, we define the right as nums.length -1, and well, left is smaller than right. So we would do that. So int made is equal to left plus right minus left divided by 2. So if the nums made is larger than the target, so if it's larger than the target, then it means we need to search on the left part. So we need to search on the left parts, and the right would be equal to the made. Otherwise, if it is target is larger or equal to that, then left it would be equal to, so actually this should be larger or equal to target. I'll explain this later. So if, and then finally we return left. So the reason we need to keep this as larger or equal to instead of just larger, it is because when we are trying to find the leftmost index for the target. So if this is larger, then it means when it is equal, then we need to try to, when the target is equal to nums made, we will move the left pointer. We will set the left pointer to be made plus 1. That means we are not returning the leftmost index actually. And then here you will call int left index as leftmost index binary search within nums and target. So if left index so if the left index alright, so let's say if nums the left index is larger than it is not equal to the target, then we didn't find anything actually. Let's see if this one is going to have a left out of range return. So I don't think so, because make sure that left is, so after stepping out of this while loop, it could be left equal to right or larger or equal to right. So it shouldn't be out of range of the nums array. So if it's not equal to target, what we are going to do is we just need to return index. Otherwise, we need to say, okay, nums left num0 is equal to left index. And let's define another function. Let's call it rightmost index binary search. So here we define the nums array and the target. And here so int left is equal to 0, right is equal to nums dot length minus 1, and okay, well, left is smaller than right, and int made is equal to left plus right minus left divided by 2. So similarly, we just copy paste the code here. So if you have more time, please merge the two functions into one by doing some code refactor, because there are some duplicate code there. So the only difference is that if made is the made number is larger than the target, we set right as equal to made. Otherwise, even if it is equal, we will try to move our left index to the right by 1. Sure. So for this one, there could be some edge case. So what if the input array is just 1 and we are searching for 1 within it? So if that's the case, so in this case we are going to return 0, which is right. But for some input like this, when you go through it, this function is definitely going to return 5 if you go through this manually. So the reason is that when the made number is equal to target, we still try to move our our left index. So that's essentially the reason. So what should we do? So this one, the rightmost index binary search, it is either going to return the rightmost index plus 1 or just the rightmost index. So let's see if return, it's going to return left. So how should we deal with that? So I would say if left is larger than 0 and nums left minus 1 is equal to the target, and nums left is not equal to the target, and nums left minus 1 is equal to the target, then we actually return left minus 1. Yeah, so then in this case, we can say, okay, I think it's just about right. So let's say we are going to say nums target, and then finally we will return nums. So let's give it a shot. So it's wrong answer. We just return index. What am I doing? Okay. Oh, okay. So it's still some typo here. Alright, so it's accepted. So remember, the last part is always to do some testing by going through a simple test case, explain how this piece of code is going to work, and then try to set up different test cases to increase the test coverage. But I just made the testing part here. But you need to do it during a real interview. So I submitted the code twice before, which I encountered a very weird situation. Let me explain what that is. So for that one, it is like I said, suppose I give you an example, like example 1, then it is going to return the rightmost index plus 1. For this, it is going to return right index plus 1. But suppose the last number in the input array is also the target you're searching for, then you will return the rightmost index. So I was trying to debug this when I tried to record the video for the first version, and it took quite some time. But so yes, so that would be a counter case. I would say definitely think about it when writing this one, when writing the rightmost index binary search. Yeah, so that's definitely an edge case we need to think about. But I missed that at the first version of my implementation. So that's it for this coding question. So if you have any question, feel free to leave me some comments, and I can help explain. And thanks for watching. I hope this can be a little bit helpful to your interview preparation, and I'll see you next time.